Welcome to another episode of the Yappy Hour, powered by Yappily. I'm your host, Nathan Dunleavy, and today I'm joined by the truly inspiring Jo Middleton, Director of Studies at Canine Principles, Principal at the ISCP, and Managing Director at the IICE or ICE, and all-round trailblazer when it comes to education and ethics in the dog world. Whether you're a pet guardian wanting to understand your dog better or a dog professional looking to grow your skills, Jo's work has likely touched your journey in some way. We're diving into how education empowers dog pros, why continued learning matters, and how ethical, accessible training benefits dogs, their humans, and the entire industry. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's get started. Welcome back to the Yappy Hour, powered by Yappily. I'm your host, Nathan Dunleavy, and I'm so excited to bring you another episode of the Yappy Hour today. Joining me is Jo Middleton. Welcome to the Yappy Hour, Jo. How are you doing?
Hi, Nathan. I'm all good, thank you. Really excited to be here.
Oh, great. Thanks for joining us. One thing I forgot to say before we hit record is that it does come out of a little message saying that the quality isn't very good, but you don't have to worry about that because when it's all playback and edited, it's all absolutely fine. So we've had a few internet problems and bits and pieces and that, but then we're pros. We can do this. So, Jo, I'm so excited to chat with you today and to learn more about you and your journey. But for anyone who doesn't know you yet, could you give us the whirlwind Jo intro? So who you are, what you do, and what keeps you so passionate about canine education.
So my name's Jo Middleton and I head up the International Institute for Canine Ethics, the International School for Canine Psychology and Canine Principles. I've been in the doggy world a very, very long time, actually quarter of a century. Oh.
Wow.
I'd say quarter of a century more in the ethical doggy world, whereas before that I grew up around the show ring and it was very much aversive methods. It was back in the Barbara Woodhouse days.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and as a child, you going to ringcraft classes and obedience classes, it was not at all in line with my values. So got involved in the rescue world back kind of 99 millennium.
Wow.
And then retrained. I was told never to work with children, never to work with dogs because I'd never make any money. So I had to get a proper job as a child.
Okay.
That's what I was told. So I went down the corporate route. I'm bilingual, French, English. Yeah, it sets you up with some skills, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Forward.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
But I'm bilingual, French, English, was brought up bilingually. And so I worked in Paris for quite a while and did lots of different bits and bobs. But the dogs are always where my heart's been. Been around the education world for quite a while and been self-employed. Set up my first business in 2000 when I was pregnant with my eldest daughter. Yeah, nothing better to do.
Oh, I'm pregnant. I'll just set up a business.
Why not? It was wonderful.
Love a challenge.
I had lots of support. Yeah, I do. Had lots of support from the Prince's Trust and the Chamber of Commerce. Oh, nice. A really cool journey. Yeah, so I guess what keeps me passionate is my work in rescue, and you see things that you can't unsee, and it's not an area that in all the years that I've worked in rescue, from kind of kennel assessments, microchipping, transport, home checks through to trustee level, I don't see any change over all the years that I've been involved. So that's a massive area that keeps the fire burning in my belly to keep educating, really.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, great. I learned some things that I didn't know about it because obviously we haven't known each other that long, but in the last year or so, but it's always great I love a bit of history, and I feel like all these great people I speak to.
I'm not that old, Nathan. A bit of history.
Oh, no. No, you know what I mean. Like, I love what I mean is that I love people that've got a story, you know, a story behind them. Like, and I was just about to say that, you know, I speak to all these great people that have been in the industry for a little bit longer than me, because I feel like a baby. I've only been in the industry 7 years, and then I speak to all you great people, and you've been in the industry for a lot longer, and it's just so great just to hear, you know, your stories rather than your histories.
Roll the fossil out.
As to why you fell into it, maybe, but some similarities there, because I came from a corporate background in banking, corporate business banking, and I use that now in my mentoring and stuff. So perfect. Thank you so much for your whirlwind intro. So we're going to move on to our next question. So I love this because you head up not only one but multiple organisations. We've got Canine Principles, the ISCP, and ICE or IICE. What is your driving force behind these platforms, Jo?
I guess each platform exists to fill a gap where I wish I'd had additional support myself, becoming
definitely
sort of, well, we never stop learning, do we? It's every day's a school day, and every single individual dog teaches us something different. But Canine Principles is all about the accessible online ethical learning platform, whether you are a dog guardian and you've got a dog that maybe is pulling on the lead and you want some guidance around how to help stop that but without hurting the dog emotionally or physically, or whether you are a dog professional and you're looking for a formal off-qual qualification. Canine Principle is kind of a one-stop shop for everything, whereas the International School for Canine Psychology, I mean, the ISCP and I have known each other since birth, since the ICP's birth, not mine, because I know Lisa Tenzin-Dolmer, the founder, and I know she's not far away from me, and so we've been around each other for a long time, the ISCP and I, when she founded it. So the ISCP is more about the psychology side of things. Yes, we've got a lot of behaviour stuff, and we really focus on making sure that everything is done where there's a tutor accessible one-to-one, as well as the online learning. But it's really a heart-centred diploma school for professionals who really want to get on the same geek level, because we're all geeks. And then the International Institute for Canine Ethics, which obviously you are hosting some of our member meetings as well, which is fabulous.
Yeah, love
the International Institute for Canine Ethics. It really sort of bridges the emotional and the ethical side of care. So it's for everyone who comes into contact with dogs as part of their day-to-day role. So whether you're a receptionist at a veterinary practice, whether you're a canine hydro, whether you're a vet nurse, whether you're a vet, whether you're a dog walker, boarder, groomer, behaviourist, trainer, if you come into contact with dogs as part of your day-to-day role, then you need to understand consent-based handling. You need to understand how to recognise the signs when a dog's saying no and what alternatives can be done around that. So the International Institute for Canine Ethics is a professional membership organisation that is really, really integral, and we've just launched our Ethical Canine Professional Register. We're also an assessing organisation for the ABTC, so we can support people in going down that pathway as well. And there are so many exciting things in the pipeline for the members at ICE, which I'm not able to disclose just yet, but there are lots of exciting things.
I might have to tap you up for that at the end as well. It's one of my questions, but no, you can tell us what you can. But no, I love being part of ICE. I love, my mentoring business is obviously a proud partner, and I obviously help admin the group on Facebook and host some of the meetings. But no, I love everything it stands for, and I liked what you said as well, is that we're continually learning from our own dogs, aren't we, and the dogs we work with. But as canine professionals, I don't know about you, but I used to always be a bit of a course junkie. We're always learning. All of us are always learning. We're always striving to be the best version of ourselves for caregivers and their pets. And I used to get that whole shiny new course syndrome, and then had to sort of stop myself recently and decide, right, I need to actually finish some of these courses.
Got to catch up on myself.
Yeah, but as canine professionals, we're continually investing in our own CPD, our own education, and that's great that we've got sort of platforms and organisations like Canine Principles and ICE to help with that. So thank you so much for telling us a bit more around those, and moving on to our next section, which leads in nicely as to why education changes everything, Jo. So my first question is, why is education such a game changer in the dog world, especially for us pet pros?
It's quite a layered response to that question, I guess, because one is, I don't know if you've ever watched a film and then watched it a second time and seen things that you didn't see the first time, or heard things that you didn't hear the first time.
Yes, absolutely.
It's really the same with education. So you can hear the same messaging, you can hear the same, learn the same thing multiple times, but you'll take what you need from it at that time, and what's relevant to you, the dogs that you are around at that time, and where your mindset is at that time. One of the wonderful things with the International Institute for Canine Ethics is that we're able to help professionals to have the support to springboard their businesses from and really develop and grow. And that's a really key part, because what we see so often with ethical dog professionals and canine professionals who strive to be the best versions of themselves that they can, because they genuinely do deeply care about the dogs that they're working with and the service that they're providing, is we see massive imposter syndrome. When you're saying about being a course junkie, oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely, course junkie, number one over here. But what we can't do is let our learning go sort of, we play it down a lot. And what we need to do is have a look at even some of the major dog food brands that aren't in line with our values and maybe don't provide the nutritious value that they should. That's a great example. They've got the big marketing budgets, and their confidence is trumping the competence of the food that they're providing. And we see that sometimes in the dog world, where maybe someone who isn't practicing ethically or isn't setting the dogs up for emotional safety with the methods that they're using, they may have the confidence, but they haven't done the progression pathway. They haven't done the learning, the education. They don't continue to strive to be the best version of themselves that they can be and have that competence element. But because they're confident and they're visible, it's maybe seen that they are the go-to expert. So because so many dog professionals do really care deeply, and the ethical practices and the consent-based practices are really the way forwards for the future of dog professionals everywhere, to provide access to the right learning means that we're able to give the knowledge of the language, the context, the platform, really, to be able to really stop reacting and start really embracing how we're able to support dogs and their guardians moving forwards, and to find our voices and speak out for the dogs. Because if we don't advocate for them, then we're not able to really truly support the dogs in having the emotional safety and the ability to be heard. So that's why one of the reasons why I'm so passionate.
You can tell.
Also, I can waffle about it for days, Nathan.
Oh no, I love it.
It's so important to me to really understand the gaps in our knowledge and identify
Yeah.
them, and then focus on filling those gaps, but also to keep our learning current, because there are new journals being published all the time, there are new books coming out all the time, new research coming out. So it's really important for us to keep our learning current, and to understand the nervous system, to understand pain behaviours, to understand how much sleep a dog needs. It's just the foundational stuff that we need to really keep reinforcing, that dogs should be on 2 point of contact harnesses, so they've got the range of movement and their spine and their neck are in alignment. They shouldn't have their airways restricted and pressure put on their tracheas, and the intraocular pressure exacerbated with tools like slip leads, choke chains, or even just a flat collar and lead. Just the nutrition side, the sleep side, making sure a dog's teeth are checked so they're not in pain. All of these knowledge dot to dots, we need to make sure that we're keeping our knowledge current and building on those foundations, so that we're able to communicate to guardians without them feeling judged from an educational standpoint.
Yeah, brilliant. That leads us nicely to my next question, but I just wanted to touch on when you mentioned about imposter syndrome. It is rife in our industry. With like some of my mentees I work with as well, but also myself, like obviously coming from a corporate background, when I was actively practicing as a dog trainer, I'd never felt imposter syndrome until I became a dog trainer. In all my corporate career, it was ridiculous. And obviously when you're new into the industry, it's a minefield, but and it's great that there's like places like Canine Principles and ICE that you can get the correct ethical advice and the courses. But it was really a bit of a minefield when I first started out, and like I say, I didn't experience imposter syndrome until I became a dog trainer. But what would you say are the biggest knowledge gaps that still exist, even for new pet pros or even experienced ones, Jo?
I think the nutrition side of things is one that is constantly evolving and new research coming out. It is. It is. And it's an area that, with the International School of Canine Psychology, we've got a level 3 diploma. Our tutor on that is a wonderful scientist who's absolutely fantastic, and we've got some cool stuff planned to help support people in better understanding how to make sure that your dog's nutritional needs are met. What we find is that people are scared to experiment. They'd rather trust the marketing hype that I've talked about, whereas with the knowledge that we're able to provide through that level 3 diploma, we're able to make sure that you're well equipped to make sure that your clients' dogs or your own dogs have got the nutritional values that they need in their food. I think for me to imagine that I'd always fed my children McDonald's day in, day out. Other junk food brands are available, but don't want to get in trouble. But if I just fed them E-numbers or processed foods all the time, not only does the cognitive impact with the brain doesn't have what it needs to function to its optimum, and the physical as well. And it's no different with our dogs if they're not having their nutritional needs met either. But they have no control over that. We are the ones that control what they're eating.
That's the thing,
they can't self-select, which is one of the reasons I love zoo pharmacognosy, but that's a whole different rabbit hole to go down.
It is, yeah. It certainly is.
It is. But I'd say nutrition is probably the biggest gap that we see, and the one that always sort of grieves me is when I'm out and about and I see dogs literally hanging themselves or being strangled because they're not on walking equipment that it is going to support their balance, their body, and it is putting that pressure around their necks.
The nutrition one, it's crazy because it's such a controversial subject as well, and it's such a beast, and like you say, it's forever evolving. And And a lot of what comes up in this podcast is that, you know, like the public as well, like you don't know what you don't know. So until we can try and educate them, you know, it's all about, it comes back down to education all the time, you know, with the walking equipment and the nutrition.
Yeah. And not judging and not criticising guardians who have got it wrong or pet professionals who have been misled. I'd love to know some statistics. I've no idea how we'd get them, but I'd love to know some statistics around how the increase of Reels and TikTok videos has impacted the quick fix view that we seem to have as a nation now. Because what you see in a 60-90 second reel it's not real. It's not real life.
It's mad, that, isn't it?
Yeah,
a reel that's not real. Yeah. I think, like, unfortunately we are in a space now, like, we do want the quick fixes, and we're not prepared to put in the work, unfortunately. And you see it like on TV or TikTok, and unfortunately people just are busy, you know, we're busy, and people just want to quickly get the quick fixes, unfortunately.
But then if you flip that, sorry.
No, you go, my love, go on.
If you flip that and think, if I was fostering a child, a toddler, that had been through significant trauma and they had no control, I was responsible for providing them with the nutrition. I was responsible for making sure that they were properly clothed, they were safe in the adult world that they were living in. I would not be expecting a quick fix or some magic wand that was going to make that child do as it was told, conform to whatever boundaries I put in place. And I would definitely not be expecting to put something on that child that would electrocute it, nor would I be expecting to put some sort of noose around its neck. It's when you think about it in those terms, the dogs don't have choices. It's up to us to create environments in which they are able to make choices safely, so that they're feeling empowered and they've got that agency and they're able to feel self-worth and grow their self-confidence and build the bond with humans. If we're constantly coming from a place of do as I say or else you're going to get hurt, that's not going for any free thinking being, that's not going to set them up for emotional safety or a feeling of success. So I think it's really important from the education point of view that we carry on planting the seeds and we carry on making sure that we're being the advocates for our dogs that we need to be.
Yeah, definitely. Really big on advocacy and being your dog's superhero. Thank you so much. So moving on to Canine Principles. So Canine Principles is known for its ethical, science-based content. How do you go about making education truly accessible and inclusive, Jo?
I think what we really need to focus on is making sure that we're student-centric in our approach with everything that we do. We have got Ofqual formal qualifications, but we also have a massive range of other courses as well. So what we've introduced this year is live courses. So we've delivered the Progressive Dog Rehab Specialist course live so that it's more interactive, so that people are able to ask questions, chat, and just really make sure that we are meeting all different learning styles. So you've got the workbooks, you've got the text stuff, the copy for people that like to print things out, highlight, scribble all over them like me. But then you've also got the post-it notes everywhere. But then you've also got the video and the interaction element as well. So that's something new that we've introduced this year. We've also got an unlimited CPD skill hub. So it's a monthly membership. You get a monthly guest webinar from a guest expert that comes in and delivers amazing content, but you've got the playback to watch as long as you're a member of the CPD Skills Hub. So you've got unlimited CPD. You get a certificate for each course, workshop or webinar that you complete within the CPD Skills Hub, but you have got access to that at whatever pace or whatever learning style that you need to have met. You can get that through the CPD Skill Hub. It's not rushed, it's not pressured, it's up to you, and you can cherry pick what you want or need at that time. So for example, if you are going to see a dog that's displaying reactive behaviours, you can search the CPD Skill Hub to find something that's going to support you in making sure, even if you're just refreshing knowledge that you've already gained, or you want a little confidence boost, you've got those resources there for you. And then the final thing, I guess, the final way that we make sure that everyone is really part of the Canine Principles community is our student Facebook group. If you're in the group, there's really no such thing as a silly question, and I know we all feel sometimes, oh no, it might be a silly question. Just post anonymously. If you think it's going to be you're going to get some backlash off it, or you don't want to ask it as yourself, just post anonymously and get people's feedback, because the dog world can be quite a cruel place sometimes as a dog professional. Everyone is very passionate. Everyone you would like to think would be in it for the best interest of the dogs, but sometimes things do get a bit heated, and if you've typed something out and deleted it again and thought, no, I'm not going to post that, then Canine Principles is definitely the place for you to be learning, because we will support you in making sure that you are reaching your full potential, no matter whether you want to follow the traditional behavioural route and go up to your level 5, your level 6, or whether you want to niche into something more like trauma, reactivity, nutrition, anxiety, something like that. Canine Principles is the place for you there.
Brilliant. That Facebook group, I think, it's got about 60,000 members as well. It's crazy.
The page
so
has, the page has,
yeah.
Quite
the page. It's the page.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, you got the study group and then the page. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Perfect. So moving on to our next section, which is all about dog parents. So for any dog parents, guardians that may be listening, hopefully they are, our first question is, do you think pet guardians should engage in dog training, behaviour education too, even if they're not, in inverted commas, in the industry?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. So I believe, controversially to some, that training the human is more important than training the dog, because the dog already really knows its behaviour. What we're doing by training the human is making sure that they're being consistent with how they're showing up for their dog, making sure that the dog isn't getting one message from one member of the family and one message from another, even just the body language, never mind the verbal cues. So if you are a dog guardian, you're with your dog 24/7, sort of day in, day out, apart from if you have to pop out. When you're working with a behaviourist or a dog walker comes in once a day, or any professional, they're with your dog for a tiny little limited amount. They're with you and your dog for that tiny little limited amount. So the more that you can understand as a dog guardian about your dog's communication and their needs, the less confusion there'll be, the less conflict there'll be, the less stress there'll be for you and your dog. But most importantly, it will be that trust bond that you're building with your dog. And that is such a beautiful thing. I talk about paying into the emotional bank account of our dogs, and we need to pay into their emotional bank accounts before we can ask anything from them. So before we can make a withdrawal from a banking background, that's quite appropriate.
No, I absolutely love that analogy.
But I pinched that. That's not mine. I don't know which book it was I read that was in, but it was. Right. But we need to make sure that we're constantly paying into their emotional bank account so that we've got that trust bond with them. Because if you're just trying to ask them for something and you've got no bond, it makes things really tricky.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely love that. Thank you so much. So what would you say is a common myth about dog behaviour that you wish everyone knew wasn't true?
Just the one.
Oh wow, yeah. You can do as many as you like.
I think the biggest one is still dominance theory, and that dogs are trying to be the boss of us.
No,
they're not. They're trying their hardest to cope in a world that they don't understand, a world that's confusing. And if a dog's struggling, they really need safety and understanding. They don't need you to control them. They're not trying to be the boss of you. They're struggling, and they're communicating with you that they're struggling. So I'd say that's probably the biggest myth that I would love to see busted.
And I think it's because like they see a dog try to mount another dog and they're trying to dominate it. But, you know, we know, and hopefully a lot of people do and will take away from this, is that if a dog's over aroused, like their bucket's full and overflowing, they will mount another dog because they're trying to release that arousal. But, you know, like again, going back to we don't know what we don't know, is that people think, he's mounting him or her, he's just trying to dominate the dog. And that's not what they're doing.
Also, I think like things come generationally, don't they? They come down generations, and it's what granddad said, what mum said, and now what you're saying. But I was on a podcast last night with Debbie Lucken from Kids Around Dogs.
Yes.
And she was saying, just remember that your children are always watching. They're like little sponges kind of
listening.
thing. They're always watching, always listening. Yeah. And our dogs are too. And we need to be really careful.
That's I love that. That's really interesting. What advice, Jo, would you give to any pet parent, dog guardian feeling overwhelmed or unsure who to trust when it comes to training advice online?
I'd probably say start trusting your gut. If it doesn't sit right with you, then trust your gut. Look for professionals who really do study with ethical organisations like Canine Principles and the International School for Canine Psychology. Obviously I'm biased, but there are others out there as well. But we want to make sure that we're using professionals who and creating almost a circle of care of professionals for each dog. So a vet, maybe a hydro, maybe a physio. So you've got those ethical professionals that you can call on to support your dog when you need to. Don't wait for something to crop up and then you're looking for the professional. Just have those professionals, follow them, do your research before you need them, and never be afraid to ask for a second opinion, even if it's your vet. We tend to trust our vets because they are the professional, but every vet has different specialisms, and every vet, it's not possible for a human to know everything. So you are perfectly within your rights to go to a different veterinary practice. If something doesn't sit right with you, you're perfectly within your rights to ring around. And like, for example, my little staffy girl Lola had something neurological going on, and I wasn't comfortable with I just wanted the peace of mind of a second opinion because I didn't want to put to sleep. And I wanted to make sure it was the right choice. So I rang around and asked, do you have a vet who specialises in this? And 3 practices said no and 1 said yes. So I went and saw that veterinary professional at that practice, and then I also rang our local veterinary hospital and paid to have a Zoom call with their specialist there as well. But it just people don't realise that you're able to do that, and you're able to you're in charge, you're the customer, so you're able to make those choices. And if it doesn't sit right, trust your gut.
Yeah, yeah, it is like a mindful with all the conflicting advice, but luckily we've got like, platforms like Canine Principles, the ISCP and ICE. But yeah, I've go on, my lovely.
We've got the Ethical Canine Professional Register on the. If you
Yes.
go to
Is
canineethics.org, look for
is it
professionals who
live
are
now?
listed on there. It is live.
Oh
Yes,
right, brilliant. That's
go on
so good.
canineethics.org and click on register, and you'll be able to find one near you.
Yeah, yeah, I'm on that. I'll go and check it out as
Yay!
well. Yeah, brilliant. And yeah, I was going to say I got a second opinion with my dog Bailey. Who I talk about a lot on it because he's got SA and chronic back pain. But we had a referral and we went to one specialist hospital, but then I went to another one just for that added peace of mind. So
Yeah.
perfect. So, moving on to our next section, which is all about how us pet pros can keep growing, Jo. So, for dog walkers like myself, pet sitters, groomers, trainers tuning in, where do they start if they want to level up their knowledge?
I'd go over to the ISCP, International School for Canine Psychology, the iscp.com, and grab the free course on canine bite-sized
Yes.
communication. I think that's a brilliant place to start. We need to understand dogs' body languages. And you should also always have a current canine first aid certificate as well. So if you go
Absolutely.
over, really important. If you go over to canineprinciples.com, you can get your first aid certificate over there. But it's important that you keep it current because things change, guidance
They
changes,
do.
and best practice changes. And also to maybe think about exploring more trauma informed approaches. Maybe look at your bite-sized CPD, the CPD skill hub. I know like it's not about promoting, but I'm just thinking what we've got in
Oh
our
no,
armory that could help.
it's so good.
There's just so much sort of education stuff that you could be doing, but I'd say the body
Yeah,
language, that free course with the ISCP and the first aid would be the
definitely.
essentials. But also to continue growing, just I guess remember that when you're feeling that mind monkey chatter of I'm not good enough, who am I to do that, all that sort of stuff that your brain tells you, just to remember that voice it's actually a sign that you care, and it's because
Yeah,
you care that you're feeling that imposter syndrome. So find your crowd, find your people. We've got amazing communities that you can join. Find them because they will be your sanity in times when you're really doubting yourself. That community, that mentorship, it's just absolutely second to none because it can be quite a lonely road sometimes out there
can.
in the dog world.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, as pet professionals, we do care a lot. That's why we do what we do. But we can then suffer from like compassion fatigue, and it's important to get around people that get it. Like you say,
Yeah.
find your gang, find your community. So, what would be the advice to someone who does feel a bit stuck or like an imposter in their pet care career?
Ooh, okay. So back in 2007, I fled an abusive relationship, moved across to a different part of the country, and was homeless with two children under the age of 6. I had to do
Wow.
an awful lot of work on my mindset and an awful lot of rebuilding everything. And I read a book called Change Your Life in 7 Days by Paul McKenna. And you read a chapter a day for the 7 days. And I'm not saying in that 7
Okay.
days, magically, my life transformed. But I swear that book was absolutely pivotal for me. It comes
Oh.
with a hypnosis that you can access now on YouTube. It's a 30-minute hypnosis you listen to morning and night. And yeah, I'd say listen to that, read that book, and practice some of the techniques that he teaches you. And yeah, a game changer.
Wow. Wow, thank you. Brilliant. And how we've already mentioned this a little bit, but how important is community and mentorship in learning in your view?
Oh, it's just a lot of our students come to us in sort of as mature students. So maybe they've been out of education for many years, or maybe they have got neurodiversities that weren't recognised in the traditional educational system. What we've got with our community, it brings perspective, it brings encouragement, it brings the motivation, it can give you the accountability. You've got your tutor that you can reach out to whenever you want to, but having that community of your peers, and just to say things like I'm writing a book at the moment. I'm in Canine Principles has got a writer's course. Jay Gurdon, who you've had on the podcast, heads that up. And just to be in the writers group that we've got, and for me to be able to say, oh, I haven't written anything this week, and someone to say something like, crack on then. Just...
crack the whip.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say oh, they were like, oh, it's all right, don't worry, but now you're like, right, come on.
But just to have some accountability, or for someone to say, don't worry, I haven't either, and like, so shall we accountability buddy, or just to have that sort of ongoing support from people who are walking the same path as you or have walked that path is just super cool.
Yeah. So you say that writing circle's part of Canine Principles, is it?
Yeah. So
right, I didn't know that. Right.
Yeah, and we've got a writers' retreat coming up in October as well, which is going to be super cool.
Wow.
Yeah, Jay and I are leading it because we're both published authors, darling. So...
Yes, you are. Yes. Brilliant.
Yeah, so it's going to be super cool. Hope you can come.
Oh, okay. Well, listen out for more about that. Okay, so just moving on to our next section, and then we'll be wrapping up soon. We've literally sailed through this one. So, values-led learning. So, the IICE, ICE, and the ISCP are known for their ethical frameworks. Why are values like consent, compassion, and individuality, that's a big one, at the core of the way you teach, Jo?
Dogs are sentient beings. They're not robots. They feel. They have basic needs, but they have layers on top of that. So they deserve autonomy. They deserve respect. They deserve to be heard when they're saying no. And professionals deserve training that doesn't put them against the animals that they love and they want to help. Yes. So that, I guess, the values, they're not sort of extra icing on the cake. They're really the foundation of truly ethical work that we do. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you. So how can education be part of creating a more ethical and emotionally safer pet industry, Jo?
Oh, blimey. How can education be part... Sorry.
No, that's cool. How can education be part of creating a more ethical and emotionally safer pet industry?
I guess it's a cultural shift, and we want it to become the norm. It should be the norm, and when we teach ethically, we're changing culture. We're showing up and coming dog professionals that control isn't power. The compassion element is the true power. And we're really sort of picking apart and dismantling the outdated, harmful former norms, if you like, that were the Barbara Woodhouse days, the Caesar Milan sort of, and there are many sadly still out there who promote aversive methods. But education is really that cultural shift and forming a more compassionate core of dog professionals that is the new normal, as opposed to the dog professionals who maybe are still out there supporting the use of various tools or methods that harm a dog, not just physically, but emotionally as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that that's still going on, but we just need to keep flying that ethical flag. So that's great. Right, we're going to start wrapping up this episode. It's been packed full of so much information. I've absolutely loved, speaking with you. So moving on to our final section, which is all about looking ahead. So what's next for you, Jo? Canine Principles, ICE and the ISCP. Any exciting projects?
All the secrets.
any exciting projects or future hopes that you can share? Any additional exciting projects or future hopes or anything you can share at all with guys?
Absolutely. Yes, definitely. So the Progressive Dog Rehab Specialist course that we delivered live a few weeks ago is going through the CPD accreditation process. So that will be formally accredited and rolled out as a formal CPD accreditation with Canine Principles, which is mega exciting. And we've also got our writers retreat as well coming up in October, which is really, really cool. So that's going to be co-presented by Jay Gurdon and I. Save the date, 13th of June 2026, Hartpury University, the Canine Principles Conference.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's exciting.
It's so exciting, the lineup. But
wow.
What was really funny was we went to view the venue. I went with my husband and I was like, I'm sold, I need to study here. And he's like, oh, brilliant, yeah, you do that. And I hold on, you do realise that I won't be at home like Monday to Friday? He's like, yeah, you go. I'm not quite sure how to take that. But you missed me like a little
Where
bit.
Is it? Well, he's obviously wants to support you. Where is it, Jo? I've not heard. Tell us that name. I've not heard of it before. Hartpury. Where's that?
Yeah, Gloucestershire. Really, really cool.
Oh,
place.
Gloucestershire.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's set in hundreds of acres of rolling countryside and just the most amazing learning space. So that's the 13th of June next year.
Okay, that's exciting.
It is. There's so much excitement.
I definitely want to get involved with that. I do.
Honestly, See, but you might want to get involved with some of the other stuff as well. So
I'll get involved with it all. You know me.
Yeah. Love it. The ISCP, we've got the Big Dog Psych Conference, which is a virtual one coming up. Summit rather than conference. Yeah, that one's going to be towards the end of this year, so keep your ears and eyes peeled for more info on that one. Some of the international scientists, top behaviourists, trainers that we've got jumping in on that are like mind-blowing, starstruck. So that's really exciting. With the ISCP as well, we are launching a new course over the next few weeks, actually, which is a level 3 mental health first aider course for people working in dog rescue.
We've spoken briefly offline. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, so what I would love to see is for every rescue to have a dedicated mental health first aider within their team. And absolutely. I know from my experience in rescue over the past 25 odd years that the pressures, the time, the resource pressures, etc. on rescues, this almost seems like an extra thing to add to that. However, the emotional toll for someone in rescue who gets into it because they love the animals and they love dogs and they want to make a difference, and then they're having to turn dogs away because there is just no room for them, and they're feeling that they're sentencing that dog to death because there is no room for that dog. That mental toll, I can't even describe. I did a podcast with the Raw Pet Medics a couple of months ago.
Oh, yes, yes.
I was speaking about this kind of thing. By the end of that week, I had, I think, 5 dogs that had been basically, it had been shifted onto my plate, if you like. That if I didn't find somewhere for these dogs to go, they'd be put to sleep. And for that mental strain is just horrific. So that is something that we're launching through the ISCP, and we're going to be working with rescues worldwide to roll that out to see if we can really make an impact to better support the mental health of people working in rescue. And that leads me nicely on to what we've got coming with the International Institute for Canine Ethics. There's a couple of things with the International Institute for Canine Ethics.
Well, you've just rebranded as well. You rebranded. That was huge.
Yeah,
yeah, love it.
Yes, so the International Institute for Canine Ethics is all about supporting dog professionals in being the most ethical version of themselves that they can be. So no matter how you come into contact with dogs during your role, ICE supports you with ongoing learning, ongoing CPD, and the support network that we all need in the dog world. The traditional kind of rule when a dog is rehomed is called the 333.
Yeah.
The 333, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, is a rigid timeline of things that you should be able to expect from that dog, or for the dog to, stages for the dog to have gone through by the 3-month period, with the aim to reduce bounce backs into rescue, really, and for guardians to have a better understanding of the dog that they've rehomed. However, you and I both know that dogs can't stick to a rigid timeline. They don't know that by 3 days they should be doing this, or by 3 weeks they should be doing that. So ICE has got a new 333. We want to keep the guidance, the stages for guardians to understand, so that they're able to see what stage their dog's at, but we don't want a rigid timeline, because the last stage is ongoing for the dog's life. It's not going to happen by 3 months. It's a constant paying into that emotional bank account. So ICE is just launching the 3 stages of adjustment. You'll be able to download the overview of the 3 stages of adjustment as a free resource on the ICE website. It's literally going live this week. It's all been drafted, and we've actually got some press. We're in some pretty big press about it as well. But what we're doing is working with a wonderful team to roll that out across rescues across the UK, buddy it up with the mental health first aid course from the ISCP, and provide the education to guardians who are adopting dogs and implementing the 3 stages of adjustment, with the ongoing education that they can tap into as and when they need it, when they see a stage or an element of a stage. So that's super exciting, and hopefully going to make a massive difference. Definitely. And then the other thing with ICE that we're working on for pet professionals is a fabulous, amazing support team of everything that you need to grow and develop and find your voice, to speak out, your confidence, everything that you need, from your business strategy to your accreditation pathway to getting on the ABTC pathway, even your copywriting for your social media platforms or your blog posts, or if you go out, you've got a client with a case study that you're not quite sure how to act or what to say, or you can't find the words. We're providing something that is completely end-to-end for you, that's in beta testing mode at the moment.
So exciting.
I know, and there's more, but I can't tell you.
That's okay. That's fine. I'm loving it. We've got lots to work with there, but no, exciting times. So, Jo, if you could give one message to every person working with dogs right now, what would it be?
Ooh, I think don't confuse being compassionate with being weak. Don't let anyone ever make you feel that by being compassionate, you're being weak. Doing right by the dogs, even when it's hard, is the strongest thing really that you can do. So don't let other people or don't ever let your self-talk and that mind monkey chatter confuse compassion with weakness, would be my message.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Love that. Jo, thank you so much. Literally, this episode's been jam-packed with so much information. I've loved it. Finally, how can people get in touch with you, Jo, if they want to find out more?
Just pop a message over. Just head over to your email and type in Jo, J-O, at canineprinciples.com.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Jo Middleton, thank you for joining me on the Yappy Hour powered by Yappily today. Absolutely loved it. We will get you back in the future because I feel we've just scratched the surface. There's lots more we can talk about. Thank you for your time and we will see you again soon.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Wow, that was a truly enlightening conversation. Jo's passion for education, ethics and empowerment absolutely shines through. And it's clear that learning isn't just about ticking boxes, it's about doing better for dogs and ourselves. Here are a few golden nuggets from today's chat. Number 1. Learning is a journey, not a destination, especially in a field as emotional and involving as pet care. Number 2. Accessible ethical education empowers everyone, from seasoned pet pros to brand new pet parents. Number 3. Values should guide education. Science matters, but so does compassion. Number 4. Imposter syndrome is normal. Community, support and small steps forward are key. Number 5. Dog guardians can benefit hugely from ongoing learning too, because understanding your dog is the ultimate relationship goal. Thank you so much to Jo for sharing your heart and wisdom with us today. We'll link all of Jo's incredible platforms and resources in the show notes, including Canine Principles, the ISCP and ICE. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and give your dog a cuddle from me. This has been the Yappy Hour, powered by Yappily.